Hey guys, so I'm just here to address some allegations that have been slanderously made against me by Undead. And for those of you who don't know, Undead recently boarded the toxic gossip train, and I didn't even know myself until it was a bit too late. I mean, do you guys really think me, your Wano warrior, weatherman, your sniper king, is someone who would simp over a Yu-Gi-Oh card, a piece of paper, bro, cardboard, bro? It's not possible, bro. There's no evidence that I would do such a thing.
Damn, hold on. That's hard. Oh, damn, that's hard, low-key. I'm hard, low-key. I'm hard, low-key.
I beg your pardon?
What's up? What's the weatherman here? And there couldn't be a better man near, because today we're going over one of the biggest threats in the meta, and that is Lunalights. You may have seen Undead's previous guide on this deck before, but in that video, this deck was nothing more than an OTK deck that just hoped to go second. And even then, it wasn't guaranteed to work if it did go second, since the skill wanted you to take damage first. It was a whole mess, but Konami has finally decided to give this archetype a real game plan, and that being building a board of interruptions turn one to let you survive, while also setting up for an insane follow-up play that is almost impossible to deal with if this deck happens to go second. It could just end the game right then and there. Without further ado, let's just jump right into the goals of this deck and everything else. What makes Lunalight so forced to be reckoned with is its boss monster, Lunalight Leo Dancer. She can't be targeted, can't be destroyed, and it's a goddamn big-ass monster. It can attack twice, it can nuke the field after it attacks, making her second attack most likely a direct attack for game. The only real downside to the card is its heavy summoning requirement, that being a whole-ass other fusion monster from the same archetype, and then 2 other Lunalight monsters. It sounds pretty rough that we have to summon a whole other fusion just to summon our main fusion, but that's not actually what we do. We will get into that later. However, I will tell you now that the material monster that we use, that other fusion material that is a fusion, is Lunalight Panther Dancer. I will not tell you its effects. It is unlikely to ever come up, but feel free to read it in your own time because it's extremely irrelevant to the game plan. Leo Dancer is insane. It's one of the most difficult to deal with boss monsters in the game right now, and it is somewhat warping the meta around herself. But at the end of the day, it isn't impossible to get rid of this card. You could get rid of it with a card like Ningirsu, or either just beating over it with battle. But the turn we summon it, they can't do things like that to us. We're going to be taking advantage of her by using her as a going second option to break the opponent's board and OTK, or as a way to follow up and do the same thing. What we do going first is we can actually summon a couple of rank 4 XYZ monsters. If you're an old school Duel Links player, you might not even know that Lunalights can XYZ summon monsters, but funnily enough, it feels like this deck is better at XYZ summoning than fusion summoning. We can go into interruptible XYZs like Abyss Dweller, Evil Swarm Nightmare, Steel Swarm Roach, Giant Hand, really whatever is just best for the format at the moment. I'm talking up a big game about this deck's ability to spam rank 4s, but I bet you want to know how it actually gets done. Lunalight uses 3 particular cards to help set up a rank 4 engine, and these 3 cards are Kaleidochick, Tiger, and Yellow Martin. Kaleidochick is actually hilarious. Check this out. So it sends a Lunalight monster from your deck or extra deck to the grave. That's pretty good, right? It's some good setup for your combos, but it's not too broken because like all things, it can be negated. I'm sorry? It can't be negated? You're being for real? It can't be negated. That means you're getting your grave set up regardless. You activate that chalice, you're not stopping me. You activate that fiendish, you're not stopping me. Breakthrough, you're not stopping me, because it's a cost. And that means that we're gonna get that grave set up by simply activating to do it. Go ahead and activate your cards. It's not gonna do a damn thing. The effect itself is that it copies the name of the monster we sent, which is cool. If you wanted to send Panther Dancer with Chick, it would be counted as Panther Dancer if you wanted to fusion summon Leo Dancer, but instead of that, we could also send a level 4 Lunalight monster from our deck to the graveyard in order to revive it by using our Tiger. Tiger is the first pendulum monster of the deck. It's a scale 5, and while it's in the scale zone, it can target a Lunalight monster in our graveyard to revive it. It can't attack, and its effects are going to be negated. That does not even matter because we are simply going to be using what we revive to go into a XYZ summon or a fusion summon. If we revive Kaleidochick with this bad boy, it is allowed to activate its effect again. Who cares, right? The effect is negated. Wrong! What do I keep telling you? The cost still happens. Who cares about the effect? Just Just like we talked about, Collided Chick's effect is not once per turn, so we can potentially get that cost off twice in the same turn so that we can revive Tiger with it. What truly turns all this up a notch is the Yellow Martin, who from the hand or grave can return a face-up Lunalight card to your hand to special summon itself. This is a hard once per turn, the first truly hard once per turn we've talked about today. Basically, the idea is you use Collided Chick to send whatever level 4 you need from your deck to the graveyard and use Tiger to revive it. Then you could use Martin to bounce the Tiger back from the field to your hand to summon itself. And since Tiger isn't a hard once per turn, you can place it back in the pendulum zone and use it to revive another level 4 monster to make another XYZ play. And since after you summon your first you detach a material, you'll already have something engraved to revive or Tiger, and there will be another level 4 remaining on board already. I should also mention that Yellow Martin banishes itself when it leaves the field if you summon it via its effect. However, when it becomes an XYZ material then and gets detached, it will not be an issue. I should also mention that you should try to use Chick as material so that you can detach it, revive it, and use it to put more stuff in grave to get that grave set up. All of this requires is a decent amount of setup and access to about 3 cards I mentioned. It is helpful that Collided Chick can send Yellow Martin herself, but you will still need another level 4 in there to get the play going. Technically, she could also send Lunalight Tiger so that we could add it back to our hand with Black Sheep, who discards herself from hand in order to add back a Lunalight from our graveyard. We could also search for everything we've talked about using Fire Formation Tinky. So this deck is pretty consistent. Even with a lot of consistency cards though, we may not be able to guarantee that we have enough materials to take advantage of the 3 cards we're going to be abusing in our combo. So to help us out, we do also have the skill Lunalight Alleviation. Ironically, the skill can alleviate some of the difficulties that we might come across while trying to get our plays done. The skill has 2 effects. The one that's important for this chapter is that you need to send a Lunalight card from your hand to the graveyard in order to send another Lunalight monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. The only issue is that you aren't allowed to activate the effects of the monster you discard, so if you discarded a Collided Chick and revived it with Tiger, you will not be able to attempt to activate its effect. So it would be better to discard something that you don't intend on activating that turn. The big thing that this skill does for the deck is it fills our grave with monsters to be revived by Tiger, guaranteeing that we'll always have enough to do the play. It's also great that it doesn't prevent you from activating what you send from your deck to grave, since you could send a Collided Chick with it to be revived by Tiger, and then it can send the Martin and you'll have your full starting combo. Just to reiterate, the opening play here is Tiger revives a monster, then Yellow Martin bounces Tiger to summon itself from the hand or grave. Then you could activate Tiger again to revive something else, and that something else that you revive could be something detached from the first XYZ that you summon. You can summon Abyss Dweller first, detach a material, revive it with Tiger. All of this isn't including whatever monster you normal summon, so you could use your normal summon for that remaining level 4 at the start of the play for your consistency, or at the end of the plays for playthrough ability. To go through, your next rank 4 though is most likely going to be Evil Swarm Nightmare. Abyss Dweller has the quick effect to detach a material and prevent the opponent from activating any cards in the grave that turn, and Nightmare can detach a material on the special summon of an opponent's monster to flip that monster down. This isn't once per turn, so you detach 2 material this way to flip your opponent's combo pieces down. And these 2 together may not be enough to completely stop our opponent's onslaught, but they will certainly be enough to let us survive so that we make it to do our follow-up plays. Now we understand how the deck can get its XYZ plays going turn 1, but how are we going to go second on our follow-up play? We basically have all the same plays available. Since you're going to be going second, you'll have your whole hand, and on your follow-up turn, regardless, you're still going to have the Tiger to revive Chick and Martin to revive itself, letting you use Tiger again, so that being something you can repeat, puts you right where you want to be, and we want to know how this results in breaking our opponent's board and fusion summoning. Well, for starters, I want to say that we are a rank 4 Beast Warrior deck, so we can take advantage of Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, to negate opponents' whole boards and monsters with level 4s we just summoned back to allow the rest of our plays to go through fully interrupted by the opponent's monsters, either because this will negate them or because they'll be forced to use their interruptions on Tiger King himself. So this should be the first thing that we go into on our follow-up turn, or when we're going second, just to make the rest of our turn easier. But what makes him better is that on summon you could set a Fire Formation from your deck, and we are going to be setting Fire Formation Tinky so that we can get an additional search as well as negating the opponent's board. Just make sure you keep your leftmost and rightmost zones open if possible, because there is another pendulum monster that we do want to scale other than Tiger. That other pendulum scale is Lunalight Wolf, and as a pendulum scale, it's basically a miracle fusion for the archetype. This is going to be the main way that we try to fusion summon Leo Dancer, since the Collided Chick can put Panther Dancer into the graveyard. We'll just need 2 other Lunalights in grave, and this will give us our Leo Dancer. But it does have to be noted that the Wolf is a level 6, meaning that you cannot search for it with Tinky, so we're going to need to do some other shenanigans to get it. What's so important about Collided Chick is that all the way up until this point, it may never actually need to send any level 4 Lunalights to the grave. Send one single time for consistency for the play. But every time after that, you'll have the ability to send something to the grave, and it won't be mandatory to really send anything specific. In those cases, you're going to send things that are good for the grind game, like Crimson Fox and Emerald Bird. Crimson Fox can negate an effect that targets a Lunalight card by banishing itself from the graveyard, and both players will also gain 1,000 life points. Emerald Bird, if sent to the grave by card effect, revives a Lunalight, so you can revive it, be safe from the opponent killing it as an interruption, because it will bring something back if they do that. These are really nice options that help this deck follow up a lot. However, for the fusion play, you are of course going to want to send another Panther Dancer. You are going to want to send a Lunalight Wolf. This way your Tinky that you just got from Tiger King could search for a Black Sheep, which could discard itself from hand to add Wolf back from your graveyard, so that you can activate that Wolf to get that fusion play and summon Leo Dancer with the material from the graveyard. So now we know exactly what we're cooking in the fusion play. Our main play that gives us the full game plan, gives us survivability turn 1, follows up on turn 2. But hey, bro, what if our opponent gets rid of our Panther Dancer in grave, or for some other reason we aren't able to send Panther Dancer to the grave? We can still fusion summon into Saber Dancer. It just requires any 3 Lunalights and is untargetable. It is still destroyable, but we take what we can get if we are forced to go into that position. It gains 200 attack for every Beast Warrior that is banished and in the graveyard, so it can get absolutely huge. Sometimes we may be put in a spot where we can't get the Wolf to use Panther in the grave, and sometimes we be put in a position where we can't even get the Panther in grave. So having this available, if we need a big untargetable boss monster, is very helpful. Funnily enough, we can also hard summon it with Polymerization. This card needs no introduction. It's literally the original fusion spell. Black Sheep can also discard itself to search for it. We can use materials from our hand or field to go into Saber Dancer. And if we control the Collider Chick that sent Panther Dancer, it'll be counted as Panther, so we could go into Leo that way. However, the process can actually be made a bit easier with the other part of this skill. You can send a monster from your hand to grave, turn Poly in your hand into Lunalight Fusion. Just like the other half of the skill, you won't be able to activate the effect of the monster you discarded for this, but Lunalight Fusion is going to make it easier for you to fusion summon in general, because while normally it is the same as Poly for the archetype, if the opponent controls a monster special summoned from the extra deck, we can use one material from our main deck or extra deck. So we could use that Panther Dancer if need be from our extra deck, as well as 2 other materials from our hand or field. This might not be as good on card advantage as Wolf is, however, it might be easier to pull off if the scenario comes up. So keep that play in mind. If we wanted to play Lunalight Fusion itself, we could also potentially search for it with the other effect of Yellow Martin. If it is sent to grave by card effect, it searches a Lunalight spell or trap. As far as this deck goes, Collider Chick sending it does not count as being sent by card effect, so that will not trigger it. However, if you use Poly with Martin as material, it goes to grave. It could search for a Lunalight Fusion, but we also have Emerald Bird, who on summon can discard a Lunalight to draw a card. If it discards Yellow Martin, then it will trigger Martin to search Lunalight Fusion that way, while also allowing us to draw a card. This play will very rarely happen since Bird is not the big focus in this deck, but it can still happen, and by doing that, you'd also be able to use Martin to return the Bird to your hand if you don't have a Tiger to return, so that you'll have the right amount of material to get a big fusion play off. The last thing about the fusion side of the deck that actually makes this OTK even stronger is that if you banish Collider Chick with the Wolf to make Leo Dancer, Kaleido triggers on banish to prevent your opponent from actually using effects during the battle phase. So this is what the deck looks like based on everything I've said so far. This should be fairly self-explanatory. We play max of the things we want to see, a minimum of the things we can get direct access to, but don't actively help set up our game plan. You can play White Rabbit as a normal summon that revives a Lunalight and bounces your opponent's back row up to the amount of other Lunalights you control. It would be mainly good going against super back row heavy decks just to bait out back row, or just to get rid of back row in case that's what we need. A lot of the time this deck can play through interruptions fairly well, but you might use it to potentially get rid of an IDP, but it's not really a priority because, like I said, this deck is pretty good against interruptions anyway, especially with the Leo Dancer being immune to most of them. As long as you have these 3 fusions in your extra deck and these 3 XYZs, the rest of what you play is pretty much up to you. I would say these are pretty mandatory for the deck's game plan, as I've talked about them all in terms of how the deck actually functions, so the rest can technically be whatever feels good for you. Other rank 4s are good to play, links are good to play too, like the Nightmares, and the new Fire Fist link could be nice just to have a way to get rid of the fire formation in your back row that might be clogging up your pendulum zones. Technically, you could just use Martin to bounce one of those scales, so you could place the other one there if it was really that deep. Alrighty. So we got a pretty solid hand. We've got Sheep in hand, we've got Tinky, Wolf, and Tiger. Probably going to use this Tinky to search for a Tiger, not a Tiger, a Collider Chick, because that's really all we're needing for the combo. I don't know why I'm slipping over my words right here. Looks like we're going against the new deck to the game, Ancient Warriors. So this is pretty nice. We're going to get a little bit of seeing what Ancient Warriors is going to be like. So doing their stuff, not going to act like I'm too familiar with their game plan here. So I'm not even going to act like I really know what they're trying to achieve right now. We're just going to learn together. Looks like they're going into a Link Ancient Warrior Oath. I'm very familiar with this card, at least. We play it in Tri Brigade. So it looks like they've got a bounce. They've got a trap to protect them. Let's go ahead and look at our scenario right now. They got a trap here that says if your Ancient Warrior battles, your opponent cannot activate spells or traps until the end of the damage step. Okay. At the start of our opponent's battle phase, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard. Monsters your opponent controls cannot target Ancient Warriors for attacks. Okay. And then when an opponent's monster declares an attack, what is that? We can banish this card from the grave, special summon an Ancient Warrior. Pretty much meaning we're not winning this turn. Jesus Christ. Then they've got another disruption here. They've got a spell trap negate. All right, a bounce, spell trap negate, and some survival. So also here, because of the dimensional fissure here, anything that I send to grave will be banished instead, except anything I send with the skill, because the skill is kind of like just like placing it there, you know what I mean? So it's kind of nice, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter when we do it with the skill. So we're going to activate Lunalight Fusion, and he is going to negate it. So we're going to activate again, sending that to grave. Why do we send this to grave? Because we want to be able to summon out our Leo Dancer, and our Leo Dancer requires that we have Panther Dancer in the grave, plus 2 other Lunalight monsters. We have just fulfilled those conditions. 1, 2 plus Leo. Bam, we can go into our Leo, which is going to be untargetable, can attack twice, and if we destroy a special summon monster, we can destroy, actually, it might not even be a special summon monster. Just let me get a second. Don't worry, guys. I'm fine. I can handle myself. Anyway, so we're going to be summoning our bad boy. He's going to make it so that we can't attack. So let's just make sure. Yeah, if this card attacked a monster, we could destroy all special summon monsters our opponent controls. So yeah, we would have been able to pop everything on the field by being able to attack. So that's pretty nice. He did stop us by activating that so that we couldn't target anything for an attack. Now he can't stop us. We destroyed that, which lets us pop all special summon monsters, and we get to attack twice. So we're going to attack directly for 36. Ends his turn, looking like this is pretty much GG's for us. We're going to activate the Tinky for no reason. You really wouldn't do this because you don't want to clog up the field. He's got the trap there. He's going to summon a monster. Does not matter because we can attack twice. We're going to beat over this bad boy, and then we're going to attack directly, giving us game. And you already know what it is. Alrighty. Got another solid hand, and we're going second this time. Pretty much a very similar hand. Tiger, Wolf, Sheep, and Tinky, meaning we're going to get that chick. So we're going against Tinny this time. This is going to be a bit easier of a matchup. Going into Monk. At Horror now, I assume we're going to be seeing that Vishuda very soon. And we are, so that we can go into that bad boy, that level 8 Synchro Draco. I'm sorry to hit you with the hard R. I didn't mean to do that. Draco Berserker. So that's pretty nice. Adding back the Ashuna to hand. Setting the back row. The back row is more than likely Chalice or the quick play that searches, so shouldn't be too worried. So we're going to normal summon our Collided Chick here. Collided Chick is going to send that bad boy to the grave, and we sent our Fusion. You might be wondering why we sent our Fusion. Well, I pretty much have all the stuff I need here, right? I just went ahead and sent it. Got the Martin there. We could send it with the skill, because as long as we send it from deck with the skill, it's not going to be negated. If we did discard it from our hand with the skill, Martin would have been negated. So the card we sent from hand was Rabbit, meaning that Martin is going to be just fine to activate. So we're going to be activating to summon our Martin from grave. Go into that bad boy so that we can negate the field. So he's going to have to do one of two things here, right? Which he does. He's going to activate to banish us when we try to negate his field. We're pretty much trying to get rid of this anyway. So he does that, trying to negate the field. Bam, he banishes us. We're going to return that to hand. Yep. So what we do here is Tiger is actually a soft once per turn. So we used Martin to return Tiger to our hand so that we can activate Tiger again, as well as special summon our Martin from the graveyard. Now we can use Tiger to resummon Chick here, and we could have actually activated Chick to send another card. So we're going to detach 2, activate the Lunalight Wolf, and now we're going to be able to go into our Leo. Come on, look at the plays. This deck is so hard to be stopped. So hard to be stopped. Then we banish the Chick, which means he can't activate any spell traps during the battle phase. That is game. Yeah, I can already hear you haters in the comments. Oh, bro, but all of these clips are going second. Weatherman, bro, you're so fake. You're going second. Cap, here we go. Going against Blue Eyes, too. So we've got Chick and Tiger. We've pretty much got all that we need. We're going to activate Chick to send Martin to the grave, activate Tiger. Now we're going to activate the skill, sending Fox from our hand to the graveyard, as well as a bird. So we've got 2 4s in grave, as well as we've got the Fox there, which we would typically send with Chick later on in the combo. But since we had bird in hand, we just went ahead, discarded the bird, and sent Fox with the skill. We're going to use our next resummon, which I'll show you later in the combo, to send the fusion to grave potentially. So we're going to go into our rank 4, and we're going to go into Abyss Dweller first, because we want to detach Collided Chick, because we want to activate Collided Chick again. So we're going to special summon Collided Chick from our graveyard, and we're going to activate Chick, this time sending the fusion from our extra deck to the graveyard. That way, for the follow-up play, it'll be much easier to go into that Leo Dancer. All we'll need to do is pretty much get access to Wolf in some way, shape, or form. So we've got the Abyss Dweller here, and we've got the Evil Swarm Nightmare. Evil Swarm Nightmare is pretty much Book of Moon. Okay. So he's going to pop the Nightmare. That sucks. And damn, I thought we were going against Blue Eyes in this clip. Looks like we're going against Live Twins. And this is actually a great reason why you should play a character like Seto or something like that when you're playing Live Twins, that you can play the skill on any character, because I honestly did think we were playing Blue Eyes. And you might have set your board up thinking you were going against Blue Eyes, but here is Live Twins. So the Nightmare wouldn't have been that relevant anyway. I mean, it kind of would have been. We would have been able to flip. I didn't actually read what the Nightmare does. So Nightmare, you can detach 1 Exceed material from this card, change that special summon monster to face down defense. So that would have been really nice. On normal summon, they would have special summoned the other Live Twin. We would have been able to flip that. But he did have the offerings to the Doom, so he would have been able to summon it again. But since we don't actually activate once per turn, we could activate up to our material, which is 2. Then we would have been able to activate it twice. So it was a good thing that he actually offerings our Exes. And then he activates the Evil Twin to pop our Abyss Dweller. We've got a wide open field. It's just a great thing that Live Twins really cannot OTK very easily. So we get another chance to do this. He's got the pop ready. We've got Tiger. We're going to attempt to summon Chick, and he's going to IDP us off rip. Jesus Christ. So with Chick gone, they cannot activate in the battle phase. We're going to normal summon our Collided Chick that we have here. And he's going to pop us right away, not even allowing us. But we've got Fox engraved to protect from targeting. So we're going to both gain 1,000, and I'm going to be able to activate my Collided Chick, thus sending Martin to grave like I wanted. So we're going to be able to make that rank 4 now, and we can go into that brother. Yes, sir. He is allowed and invited to the cookout. So he's going to search for us, setting that Tinky, which is going to allow us to search. Then we're going to activate our effect, negating both monsters on the field. So what Brother actually does is negate all non-winged beast monsters, but we exclusively play winged beast if we're not counting the entirety of the extra deck, because we have a couple Xyz that aren't. So what we did here, because I was talking over what just happened, so we did the Chick, right? And Chick sent Wolf to grave. And since we had Sheep in our hand, we discarded the Sheep to be able to add a Lunalight monster from our graveyard, which was Wolf. And like you guys know, we've already got that Panther Dancer in grave, as well as 2 other Lunalights, meaning that as of right now, we can go into that Leo Dancer. And we're going to Pendulum Summon, because we do actually have Scale Set. So we're going to Pendulum Summon and be able to actually go into a rank 4 if we want. We're going to activate Chick to send Rabbit just for the hell of it. Go into Castell, detach 2, return one of these bad boys to the extra deck. Then we're going to activate Wolf, summoning Leo Dancer. And that's how you bully Live Twins. Who's the real bully in the format? It's us. Who's tier 1? Hold on. I'm just playing. I'm still focused. I'm still raging. Tier what? Lunalights. Let's go. Come on. Crack the mask on them. Let's go. Digivolve on them. And we're out here. It's time. We attack. And then we attack directly for 3,600. Then we attack for 2,300. And that is the game. Bada boom, bada bang. As you can see, Lunalights really is a force to be reckoned with. We are summoning a better Cocytus while Cocytus is still banned. And we have a really consistent survival and follow-up game plan that just makes this really, really solid. A lot of decks can't easily deal with Leo Dancer, and if they can, it might put them in a really rough position to do so. We can always follow up with a Saber Dancer afterwards just to make them cry a little harder. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys liked the video. Let us know in the comments which Lunalight you simp over. Like the video, subscribe, hit that bell. Your boy Weatherman is signing out.
Hey, Why they gotta hate on me? I done got me 250,000 views and they still saying they low key. They ain't wanna come work with the kid, but I'm flexing with Zay on beats. How they ask for a spot at the gym, but they leave all the weight on me. I don't ask them to wait on me. They would ask where they gon' be with a song if they wanted the weatherman. I ain't asking to pay no fees. She was homeless and needed a spot. I ain't ask her to pay no lease. I ain't ask her to say no please. I ain't ask her to make no cheese. Scream fake, but it ain't on me. Got clean, so it ain't no streets. Why green if it ain't no keeps? Brought cream, so it ain't no beef. My team say it ain't no chief. My demon, they hang on me. They seemingly ain't no peace. I seen him, he ain't no beast.